Welcome to Walking the Earth, India. Today we're at the Happy Valley Tea Estate in Darjeeling, West Bengal. And we're here among the camellia bushes where we get a variety of teas, white teas, green teas, black teas, depending on how they're processed. And tea, from my understanding, it originated in a certain area of China. There are stories connected to one of the ancient emperors of China, as well as to Bodhidharma, the great Chan monk or Zen monk. And my understanding is that they called tea cha. And that's why even as tea and Zen transferred over to Japan, we call Japanese tea cha as well. And then when it gets to India at a later point, it's called chai. And the British had taken the tea seeds and planted them here and did experiments in this region. And my understanding, this area right around here was one of the first places that tea was grown in India itself. I don't know if they grew it in Ceylon or Sri Lanka first, before they grew it in this mountainous area. But the story about Bodhidharma is kind of interesting because, there are all these stories about him. He found, or at least he spreads the Shan tradition that in Japan is called Zen. And it's a way of directly, experientially touching or experiencing reality as it is and having direct enlightenment experience and being transformed. I'm not putting that correctly, but something along those lines. And so they practice a variety of techniques using breath meditation and silent sitting in order to attain satori and kinsho and different gradations or types of enlightenment. And it's direct experience. It just cuts straight through and goes beyond. It's kind of a transmission, a mind-to-mind transmission, and a direct experiencing as opposed to scriptural learning. Although the Zen monks, they also study scriptures traditionally. But there's this story about him. It's kind of a little bit gory that he stared at a wall for years to attain enlightenment. And at one point, he cut off his eyelids, and then his eyelids were transformed into the tea leaf. So if you can see, these are similar to eyelids. So it's kind of just an old story. But I thought it was a little interesting. But connected to the Shan monks and the Zen monks, what's more interesting is the practical usages of the tea plant for wakefulness, for long vigils, for long meditation retreats, for staying up all night sitting, staying up all day sitting in meditation, walking in meditation, so for wakefulness. And similar things were done with coffee in Yemen by the Sufis by about, I think, like maybe the 1400s or so. So I'm interested in learning more about how caffeine has been utilized for transformational purposes along the spiritual path. So if you have any add-ons to that, or directions that I should look to consider, like sources, videos, a documentary might be very helpful. So let me know in the comments. But this is lovely, just hanging out here, and this is Darjeeling here on the hillside. But if you wanted to learn more about the tea leaf and its religious uses, the story of Bodhidharma is very interesting, and the use of the plant by Zen monks and Shan monks. Like the word Shan, that's what was used in China, and then when it transfers to Japan through Korea, its name changes to Zen. I think it's called Son in Korea, but it's worth looking into, and I need to look a lot more into it. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this short for now, but we've got just these rolling hills covered in these beautiful tea plants, these camellia bushes. And out here in the distance is where you would see Kachijunga, but it's everything's hazy and cloud covered now. And earlier we heard the whistle from the steam train, from the toy train. And yesterday I noticed as we were passing through town, it was making so many people happy. So here you've got, looks like they're doing a little grooming in the fields. And then up beyond, you've got the Happy Valley Tea Factory. So everyone, be happy.